What was our college experience like? Welcome back to After Hour Happy Hour. We are your chaotic but cathartic co-hosts. I'm Sharon.
I'm Vicky.
I'm Jamala.
And today we're doing an episode on everything college. We haven't done an episode like this yet, and it's been approximately a year since we've graduated.
I was about to say 2 years.
Nope, just a year. And I know it's around time where people go back to school or start school at all you freshmen. So, one, congrats to all the recent grads. And two, hopefully our podcast helps in some way.
Or just to share our fun stories about college.
Yeah. So, let's get started.
To clarify, we won't be talking much about career. It is literally just college. We'll dabble a little on our major and stuff, but then career-wise, it'll be another episode or something down the line. So just college here. Wild times, you know? First question. Let's talk about our majors. So orgs that we did, major, and then what school did we go to?
So, we all went to the beautiful UC San Diego down south in California near Mexico. And that's where we met as well. So, I majored in international business, which is basically a combination of international relation studies with business because UCSD didn't have a business targeted major. And I did a business organization all 4 years of college, and that's basically everything that I did. And all my friends are from there.
I came in as a communications major because I didn't know really what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do something related to journalism, but I switched into same major as Jam, International Studies Business, after my first quarter because I also joined that same org that Jam mentioned, and that's how we met. I also did CASA, Korean American Student Association, for like a quarter because I did the dance off. And then I picked up a minor in design my third year. Yeah.
I tried to pick up 2 minors, then I dropped them because I realized that it was just tanking my GPA. So,
But Jam also graduated early. She
Oh, yeah.
graduated a quarter early.
yeah, but my major was also only meant for 3 years. So, I just dragged it out to 4 years.
To have more fun.
It was a great time for her.
Yeah.
I majored in cognitive science, but then my specialization was human computer interaction, which in human terms, I studied web design. But they didn't have that. And that's why I have the specialization. And then I had a minor in design with Sharon. And orgs I did a lot, but the main two that I did, first 2 years I did VSA, which is a Vietnamese org, because my parents were born and raised in Vietnam, but I'm Chinese. So I was like, let me learn about their growing up. Didn't really learn much about Viet culture from there. And then the second half of college, I did a design org. So the first question we have was, has college helped with our career? Which is a good segue for why we chose our certain major, because we all kind of stayed within our major-ish. So I did web design all throughout college, and I didn't technically stay within it because I'm a teacher right now, but I also freelance on the side. And so I still do design, but not specifically web design. I do graphic design now. But going into college, I knew I wanted to do something in the tech field. I was not a medical person. I took chemistry my first year. It was a miracle I passed that class, and it was horrible because it wasn't even like general chem. It was like the class you took before general chem to see if you were ready for chem. And it wasn't not at all.
Also, Vicky, didn't you come in as undeclared?
Oh, yeah. So, like, for the first year and a half, I was undeclared because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I discovered HCI, human computer interaction, through like talking to people and asking them what they were doing and majoring. So,
Do you wish that you had chosen your major earlier?
not really, because I feel like the first year and a half I just fucked around a lot, even with classes. Like, I chose classes that interested me more than it was like, oh, my major needed it. And so that was totally fine with me, since I got to like test out different classes that I probably wouldn't have taken if I was already declared.
I'll go next. I feel like I'm on almost the opposite spectrum of Vicky in terms of I always knew that I was going to be a business major, and that's because my whole family, I have two brothers and they're both in the business field and my dad is also in the business field, so I've always been influenced and also just felt like my major fell in its place because I was not interested in pre-med. I was never interested in the science. Neither was I ever interested in math or all that stuff. So it kind of just fit together. So then I basically went into UCSC with, okay, I applied as a Chinese studies major because I was told by my brother that it will probably be easier to get into a competitive school. So I applied, got in as a Chinese major, and then I switched to international business basically right away. And in terms of if my major has helped me in my career, this is me speaking from a school that doesn't have a targeted business program. My degree has been absolutely useless in my career. Like in terms of the classes I took and everything, what has helped me a lot in terms of how I guess climbed up in the business world is definitely joining a business org, develop connections, developing the soft skills of how to network, how to ace your interviews, and also hard skills of what to do for your resume or even learning other technical skills. So, in short, if you are thinking about the business route, marketing, finance, or anything in the business realm, I highly, highly recommend joining a business org of some sort because there are just a lot of connections and it's a really great way to build your business acumen.
For any career, networking is the way to go. But there's still so many people who are at the same level as you that like knowing people is the way to get a job now.
Yeah, and also our business org, it was open to all majors. So it wasn't
Oh,
just business
yeah.
people
Yeah.
within there. There were like CS, there were even natural sciences, but they just had a minor in business. And I think business is really applicable
Applicable?
applicable to I think all career fields, honestly. So it never hurt to join a business org in my opinion, and you make really awesome friends in there.
When Jam Insurance is business, it's not like learning what B2B means or like numbers and stuff. It's learning how to interview and like how to network and life skills, I would say, that you need in the working field.
Yeah.
Now that you know what you want to do in life more, looking back, do you wish you did a different major or like even tried something else?
If I could go back in time, I would still choose the same path I did because I feel like the major or joining the org has definitely gotten me to where I am today. I feel like it's really helpful and useful to have a strong business slash marketing background because it is pretty applicable to what we do now with our podcast. The one thing I would probably do different is perhaps look into other orgs or classes that was more of that creative field. So for you guys, it was design. I'm not sure if this is even offered at UCSC, but maybe something in film or something in video editing and kind of own in on that creative part and not waste my college time as much. So yeah, I would not change my major or anything, but I would look into classes that would help me explore my creative side more.
So I never had interest in business. I always had more interest in creative field, but I didn't really hone in on that intuition until after I graduated pretty much. But my brother also went to UC San Diego, but he went in as an electrical engineering major and then his third year he switched into business. And so he wanted me to avoid any mistakes that he kind of made, so he pushed me to do business, which is why I went out for that org. And so from there, I think that was what influenced me to be like, okay, like business is the way to go. You can make good money and blah, blah, blah. And that's how I kind of, I didn't want to say brainwashed, but I just told myself that that was the right way to go. But I do owe everything to that business org. It taught me how to network, how to interview, but also it gave me like the best experiences in college and I met like my best friends. But I think like my second and third year I had like a midlife crisis where I didn't know what I was going to do and I really considered switching my major, but I decided to focus more on minors instead. Because I had a less rigorous major, I had more wiggle room in my schedule. So I took classes that I was interested in because at one point I thought I wanted to minor in psychology and speculative design. So I also took CS classes and stuff just to figure out what it was that I liked. So that's why I ended up picking a design minor my third year. And I personally don't think your major matters at all unless you're something with a license kind of that you need, whether it's medical or etc., etc.
Next question. What advice do you want to give students who are attending college for the first time, and or what do you wish you knew before going to college?
I could go first because mine is really short. I live by a quote in college: work hard, play hard.
Facts.
So work hard and play hard, people. Don't miss out on parties because you need to study. Because at the end of the day, I remember the parties I went to. I don't remember the times that I studied, except for the times where we had to cram together in Geisel or like our library. And I guess the one thing is I wish I knew my creative side more, but I don't think it's too late now that I'm exploring after college.
Two things. My first one is pretty much what Jam said. Don't wait till you're a senior. Don't be like, I'm going to work hard to my fourth year, and then my fourth year, I'm just going to play and do whatever I want. Especially for all you quarantine babies, you know that you never know what's going to happen. And so if I had waited till my fourth year to go to like Coachella or to do this or to do that, I wouldn't have done any of that. Second thing, okay, I have three. Second thing, study abroad if you can. All three of us did. If you haven't heard our episode, you should. But it was like one of the best experiences ever. I know it's hard to leave your friends, but trust me, the opportunity to literally study and play abroad, once in a lifetime thing. And then last thing is don't close yourself off in the sense of if you think you found your group and your org, still branch out because literally all my friends are in one bubble. I would never trade that because I think even if I did other things, they would have still been my core at the end of it. But I do wish that I joined other orgs or did other experiences and had different friend groups. And yeah.
A quick addition. Yes, stay abroad. Totally forgot about it. It was literally one of the top 3 quarters that I ever had in college. And for me personally, I would recommend doing stay abroad in the quarter where the quarter after you come back, it won't be hectic. For example, I did it in my 4th year and I graduated the quarter after. So it was a lot more chill for me. I wasn't super stressed. And then totally forgot, but I really wish I joined other orgs or something because yeah, all my friends are from the same org.
Yeah. So we can't even be that friend that's like, hey, you want to go on a date with my friend? Like, it doesn't work like that. All our friends know each other. So
Yeah, college isn't like high school. High school, you're always going to be with the same people, so your friends are kind of just handed to you, right? But college is very different. You have to go out to make friends on your own. You have to, I guess, quote unquote, get out of your comfort zone to make friends because college is just so big. And even in classes, sometimes there's like up to 300 people. So you need to get uncomfortable to make your friends.
I also really advocate for studying abroad. Just leaving wherever you are for a very long time and just having the ability to leave where you're kind of growing, you grow a little more. I had a quote in my head that was really good and I totally forgot about it. But it's just like leave home, leave college to go someplace else just for a little bit because it changes your life, I swear. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it does. And then I feel like Jam and Sharon covered everything that I said, but just from a different point of view. Like I did a lot of things in college. Like I hopped around from a lot of different orgs, and I technically didn't find my group of friends until 3rd year. Sharon and Jam were my people at the end of the year. But like even as someone who did multiple orgs, I still wish I did more in a sense, just to like meet more people. Oh, and just fail. Huh? Not in like it's okay to take an L on like a quiz or an assignment because you won't remember it, and yeah, you won't have like an A plus 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 plus, but like take those memories and do something else because you don't always need to be in the library.
I'm going to be a devil's advocate to that and say that your grades do somewhat matter if you're trying to apply to graduate school afterwards. Yeah. People are going to see it. And at least the advice that I gave myself was just like be smart about what classes you take. For me, I was just always thinking, what is the most minimal I could do to get the highest grades that I can? That was kind of my college philosophy.
Next question. What is the most awkward moment of your college, and or what is the biggest L in college you took?
I honestly took a lot else, I feel like. But on my move-in night, my brother helped me move in and he drinks a lot. And I like to drink too. So then it was me, him, 2 of his friends, one of my home friends who I was really close to, my roommate, not Vicky, our other roommate, it was my first time meeting her. And we all went to drink literally in the hotel lounge room that my brother was staying at. And we all got really drunk. And then some of my home friends friends came who are also the first time ever meeting them, and I was literally hugging a toilet as I was saying hi to them. Had no memory of it whatsoever until the next day. They're like, "Oh, how are you feeling?" I was like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" And they're like, "Oh, like we met last night. Like you were next to the toilet." I was like, "Oh, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. I'm Jamila." And they're like, "Oh, I know."
Future editing Sharon here. Warning, if you don't want to hear us talk about drunk yak, aka throwing up, stories, skip to 1909. But it's not that bad and they're funny, but you do you. Okay, bye.
And then the second part of this is that I yak like next to a garage. I was like going into our dorms or something.
Yep.
And then there was a yak puddle there of it
Ew!
for a week. And every time we passed it, Amy, who's our other roommate, would point it out, be like, "Yo, Jamila, that's your welcome gift to UCSD." This is what I meant by work hard, play hard.
You didn't even work at that point. You just started playing hard.
I worked to get to college, did I
Oh,
not?
that's okay. True.
True.
I thought I didn't have one, but when you talked about yakking, it triggered a thought. I yacked in someone's car, like my friend's.
I remember.
I think it was my second year, but my two friends were driving. My boyfriend at the time was next to me trying to help me. He opened the bag. I threw up. Either the hole wasn't open or I just completely missed it. I felt so bad, and I think I paid like $300 to clean it. Of course, like I would not let her pay a single penny on that, but I felt so bad.
Oh my god. Speaking of yak stories, this is not any of ours, but it's my most favorite story.
Oh my god, this is my favorite story too.
And we have permission to tell this. So this is about Amy, who's me and Vicky's third roommate. So we went out and it's basically like a college night thing. So all the drinks were half off and she drank a good amount. She drank a lot of cranberry vodkas. And then I lost her for some part of the night and I think she was with you, right?
Yeah, we lost jam. And Welfare Wednesday is known where it's like they'll give you those plastic cups that you get at dentists to like rinse your mouth, but half of it is alcohol and half of it is chased and they mix it. So there's so much alcohol. And I think between the both of us, we drank like 6 cups and we pre-gamed before this. So there was a lot of alcohol in us. Everything was A-okay. We even went outside and had like a whole conversation with a random stranger who was trying to talk to us about Jesus or something. But I was just like too drunk and out of it. And then we found jam eventually to go home. And this was the best part. So it was the back seat. It was me and then Jam in the middle and then our friend Amy, who was right next to the window, and we were going home. And I had no idea what was happening. And then at one point, I think Amy was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. And we're like, oh shit, we don't have a bag. Like, what do we do? And I think she was like, okay, I got it. And then she like put her hands together just in case because we didn't have a bag. And then I heard her throw up and I was like, fuck. And then afterwards, she had the audacity to be like, I got all of it.
And she looked at us like, "Dude, I'm all good. And we're like, "Okay, Amy. Yep, you're all good." And we took her home, got everything off, but what a night.
Dude, it was so funny because on top of that, I vividly remember Jam's face of like low-key disgust because she was sitting right next to Amy when she threw up on herself and she was like, it's on me. I feel like the fattest L I've ever taken in college was first year when I got hella sick. I was dying to the point where one of our suite mates called 911 to make sure I wasn't gonna die. And I get sick so often that normally it passes by, but I think on top of like college stress and stuff, I was just sick the whole time. And there was one week, it was midterm season, I was not sleeping and I was still sick, and my fever ran to like 103, 104, and one of the girls in our apartment like climbed up to my top bunk bed and she like felt like a wave of heat and she was like, Vicky, you're not okay. And then one of my friends called 911 to make sure that I wasn't gonna die. I was so sick that I just took the L on that class and I was like, I'm just gonna fail it because there's no way I could be coherent enough to take the midterm on top of writing an essay. So I took an L. At the end of that quarter, my parents came to like visit me and see me, and they took one look at me and they're like, we need to take you to the ER. And they did all sorts of tests on me. And then I don't know if I remember this incorrectly, but how I remember it is they're like, oh, you had strep, but because you didn't treat it, it turned into the scarlet fever. And so I had scarlet fever.
What kind of high pain tolerance you got, Vicky?
I think it's because I get sick so often. Like, I'm a very sick-prone person.
My biggest L was probably when I thought I wanted to do speculative design and I took a class. It was art
Is it the brick
related.
one?
The
Yeah.
one where you make stuff out of a lot of things.
I thought it'd be a great idea to make a gigantic sculpture with bricks. So I think I drove to Home Depot with jam and picked up like 50 bricks, drove it back, did the project, took all of them back, given I didn't have a car. I borrowed my big's car and returned it.
I was with you when you returned it. You texted me, Jam, you wanna do some errands with me? I was like, sure, what? And she's like, do you wanna go to Home Depot and return bricks with me? I was like, sure, why not? So,
That's so funny.
wow, we went off topic. I don't know what's your question.
The question was, what's the most awkward?
Then I asked another one where it was like, what's the fattest L?
Oh,
Yeah.
Next question. What is our biggest regret in college?
Not continuing dance in college. TLDR, I did dance my first quarter of college and was going to continue it, but then I got sucked into the business org in a good way, as in, like, I found my friends, I found my people, and I just wanted to commit to that by picking up org positions and stuff, which I'm glad I did. But I basically dropped everything else for that org, and I really, really wish I continued dance.
I'm gonna piggyback off that because one of my biggest regrets is not joining more, and one of the specific things I want to do was to continue dance into college. Not that I'm a good
Yeah.
dancer, but it's fun.
I would say mine is not doing like a fraternity or sorority. I feel like in college I was good at getting every experience, but that was the one experience that I never got. I had a big regret is not dating around more in college.
Oh.
I feel like it was so easy to in college than now, just because one, my standards were a lot lower.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But then also now I have so many other things to think about. Even if I go back to America, I don't want my parents to know that I'm dating around.
Good thing you're gonna live with us.
You're right. What do you miss from college? Do you guys miss anything?
Time. I feel like all college, or I don't know, most college students who don't have as rigorous schedules can relate, but from high school where you go to school at like 8 a.m., end at like 3 p.m., do extracurricular till like 7 p.m., come home, do homework, study, eat, sleep, to go into college and taking like 3 classes max a day, and some days you have off, bro, you have so much time.
Yeah, because then after college, you return to that 8 to like 7 p.m. schedule where you literally don't have time.
The biggest thing I miss about college is that all your friends are in one place.
Yes.
Because now that we're obviously me, Vicky, Sharon, we're in like freaking different continents. But yeah, I just miss having everyone in one place because I'm just thinking about birthdays and stuff. It's just so much easier. Like, oh, let's say we're all gonna go out to eat, blah blah. But now it's like if I want to have a party, oh, some people are in NorCal, some people are in SoCal, some people are in freaking Korea, some people's gonna be in Seattle. So I miss that everyone's kind of in one central place.
Dude, I miss going out. You have class
Yeah.
tomorrow, so what? Just study tomorrow. Let's go
Yeah.
out.
Or it's like, yeah, I don't have class tomorrow. Let's just drink out at my place tonight.
Dude, yeah. What do you say is the most memorable thing that happened in your college days?
Honestly, there's so many memories, whether it's the ones I remember or do not remember, and people tell me the next day. Both are great, and I can't pinpoint a specific one, but I guess one of the best memories is meeting you guys.
Oh, Jam! Ooh, sarangheyo.
As well as other friends that I've met throughout college.
Oh
I
my
think
god,
that's
it's
one
so
of the best
cute. I love when they do that. Do you guys know this one?
No, it's like a circle and then
Yeah.
Oh,
So cute. Sorry.
when you guys did that, it just reminded me of the ending fairy with Mingyu. Dude, he looks so good. He blew a little kiss, and I'm like, Kim Mingyu.
we were so good at going a whole episode.
K-pop. Can you see this? Anyways,
I have a lot, but one that stands out to me was when I went to EDC in my 3rd year. And context, EDC ends at 6 a.m. And so we went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday we stayed until it ended. So we have to drive from Vegas to San Diego, and it took 4 hours. And I went straight to class, put on a sweater over my rave attire, sat in a lecture hall for an hour, and then went home. That's probably the best class I ever took because I was just happy.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
I was so tired because I had it an hour after you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and Eric was in that class with me. I walked in, and Eric was like, "Holy shit!" Like, as in, you look busted. Busted. That's the word.
See, I missed that.
Yeah.
I feel like now our body cannot handle that.
If I tell my body to, it will.
We should redo that shit that we do in college. Pull all-nighters and go to crazy events.
Honestly, studying for exams in Geisel and we'd get distracted and then have random deep talks, those are great.
I was gonna say that's my favorite memory. I remember, I
Aw.
feel like it was third year. Yeah, third year, at one point, all three of us were together so often that everyone would be like, where's the other one if something was missing?
Aw.
And so, like, we'd literally have a schedule where we'd go to the library together to study. Never did anything. Half the time we were just joking and like distracting each other to the point where we're like, today we can't sit together. We have to sit separately to do work.
Remember, we
Yeah.
always got the blended coffee from
Audrey's?
Audrey's?
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Enjoy college, guys. And if you guys have
Seriously.
any questions, whether it's marketing, college, design, feel free to always DM us. I know our podcast can get a little everywhere sometimes.
And that wraps up our college questions. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.